Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. Drew here for the match review of the Milan-Sampdoria match that just ended moments ago at the San Siro. 1-1 the scoreline, goal from Sampdoria, scored by Soriano, while the Milan goal was scored from De Jong. And of course, guys, Milan actually played a quite decent match, but in the end, the result is not what we needed. As a matter of fact, it was actually a match of two halves. Mainly because in the first half, Milan showed that grit that was really missing all season long, except those first opening matches there of the season against Lazio and Parma. A grit that we didn't really see much of. And today we actually saw in the first half players fighting for each other, fighting for the goals. And I guess we could call it a bit unlucky in the first half not to get a goal ourselves. While we created many chances, the ball just didn't want to go back in the net. One of the few players that was actually standing out in the first half was Cerci, and that is because really a lot of movements and a lot of attacking going forward was actually initiated by Cerci, and he was actually trying very hard. He worked very hard in that first half. But we have to say he did make a lot of mistakes as well. And, while he tried getting some finishes himself, maybe he did have some easier options to go along with. And he did choose not to go along with those. Therefore, he did many mistakes. However, I did like the grit, and I do appreciate that from Cerci. So, unfortunately, the scoreline was 0-0 at halftime, where Milan could have definitely got something out of it, but in the end, we didn't, and therefore, we had to settle for that 0-0 tie at halftime. In the second half, Milan actually kind of changed their game plan. I don't know what it was, but I didn't like it. Of course, we didn't show that urgency that we did in the first half. We didn't show that grit. We didn't show, just in general, the movements that we were doing in the first half weren't happening in the second half. I don't know if Sampdoria just adapted very well to our playing style that we tried to impose on them in the first half, or we were just maybe too predictable going forward in that second half. But once again, the movement was very, very slow. And as I said, it wasn't the same as we saw in the first half. Also, another thing, once again, I always see a big gap between the defenders, the midfielders, and the forwards, at least going forward when creating chances. Many times you even see Menez coming in from the midfield to aid, to help the forwards up front. And it just isn't working for them, because many times I see either 5 players going against 7, 8, 9 Sampdoria players. And of course, it's very much harder, really, to actually impose your game or your playing style against so many players. And once again, Milan did have problems going forward, especially in that second half. And speaking about Menez, I think he had actually one of the worst performances there in the second half, just really showing what many people were describing him as throughout the season, a real hog on the ball. And once again, it kind of proved why Milan couldn't really generate much in that second half, much because Menez was actually hogging the ball. Sometimes I guess he wants to do just way too much for the team. But once again, like in Cerci's situation, he could have actually found some easier options in that second half to maybe get some goals or just to create chances altogether. Suso finally came on in that second half around the 60th minute mark, where he replaced Cerci. Many fans very happy with that move. Many fans, of course, still asking why Inzaghi isn't starting Suso from the very beginning, as well as myself. Why isn't he? You can see that he's a very energetic player when he comes on, charismatic. You can really tell that this guy has some potential in him, some very good potential. And this is not only I'm not only saying that because of the effort that he did there when he hit the post, but just in general, it's he brings that vibe to the midfield, and at least to the whole team in general, where I think he can do very, very well if he starts getting more playing time and starts from the start. So well on for Suso, and we definitely hope to see more of him in the near future. Another change I didn't really understand was Abate. Well, De Gio coming on for Abate. I'm not really sure if Abate had any physical problems, which I really doubt. But if that wasn't the case, I think that was a very stupid move by Inzaghi, mainly because Abate was actually pushing quite well up front today. I liked his movement, and I also saw some cut-ins from Abate, something that generally you don't see from him. You usually tend to see him going straight down the flank and either crossing the ball or passing it backwards. You don't really see him cutting in, and today we actually saw some of it from Abate, which I really was impressed by him. And his crosses could, of course, get better, but you need that kind of movement. You need that kind of urgency and that grit from Abate when moving forward. Same goes for Antonelli. You know, I think he does a very good job moving forward, maybe missing that final touch in the final third. But other than that, you know, those two players on the flanks have been providing some very good help for the midfielders and the forwards altogether. But of course, it didn't come to any result today. So De Gio actually coming on for Abate. I don't think he's really match fit yet, or at least he's still not adapted to the match conditions, mainly because he's been out for so long. And, you know, today I really saw some very poor decisions from him, just weren't good enough altogether. And, you know, he could definitely improve his game if he does get more playing time. At the moment, I don't think he deserves more playing time, mainly because, as I mentioned, Abate and Antonelli kind of doing the job on the flanks. I don't know if De Gio really deserves a spot over Antonelli at this moment. I don't think so. So he will have to work really hard in order to gain his spot back if he does want to succeed at Milan. Other than that, guys, as the performance in general, you know, I can't complain. We actually did play really well, or at least quite decent, especially in that first half. I was kind of hoping to see the same in the second. It didn't happen. And, you know, in the end, the result, the 1-1 tie, is not what we needed, not the result we needed, because, as I said in the match preview, in the pre-match hangout, what we do need is wins, wins, and wins. And, you know, we will be facing some tougher opposition in the coming weeks, such as Inter, Napoli, Roma. And right now, Milan is currently 7 points away from sixth place. Or, sorry, 6 points away from sixth place. So, you know, 6 points to recuperate in just under 8 matches. I don't know if Milan could do that, but we do need wins, and we do need some miracle from other teams. Of course, maybe to drop some points. Am I still hoping for a chance in Europe? Of course I am. Will we? I'm not sure. It all depends from Milan as a team in general. If they continue to deliver performances like today, we might get some results. But once again, you still have to blame them for coming out so late in the season to actually try to salvage something from the season altogether. And why couldn't they just start from beforehand? I don't understand. Injuries and other stuff like that is just complete nonsense. Not what Milan should be looking for as far as excuses. They are just to blame themselves. Let me know your match comments, guys. Of course, leave it in the comment section below. What did you think about the match? Who was the best player for you? I would have to go with De Jong. Always a great presence in that midfield, really helping out the defense altogether as usual, and also coming out with a nice goal today. But let me know in the comment section if you think De Jong was your man of the match, or if you guys prefer someone else. Also, what do you guys think about Milan going on in these last few games of the season? Will we be able to salvage something or not? Let me know as well. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything AC Milan, from match previews, reviews, breaking news, and much more. Everything you need, we got here on Rossoneri TV. Thank you for the continuous support. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. And, of course, we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. This has been Gio from Rossoneri TV, signing off. And, as usual, Forza Milan.